Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Yardistry Gazebo Assembly Parts 1 and 2. Thank you for watching and please be sure to subscribe to see how all this comes out. Step 1, part 1 is just to inventory the parts. And man, are there a lot of parts. The first box here, you can see there's a lot of wood in there, and there's also a lot of bags of bolts and screws and nuts and washers and all kinds of interesting little metal things. So let's get this unpacked. Oh, and of course, here's the big box, and you see all these ornamental pieces that go on the outside too. But for today, just steps 1 and 2: inventory and do the pillars. Yeah, so I wanted to show you a few of these parts just so you understand. If you haven't bought one of these and are thinking about buying one to put together, uh, just see how many parts there are. I don't think it's a complicated assembly, but there's certainly a lot of little pieces. So, you got to keep track of all this stuff. First thing I'm going to do is just sort everything into regular parts bins so you see those in the background. And everything was really well marked. So on the left there you can see 300 on the lower right of that parts. That corresponds to the inventory list. So it was really easy to sort things out. All right, let's go on to post assembly. That's step 2. Now in this, we put the little clamps on the bottom and then put a little decorative frame around it. So these are the 4 pillars. And the first task is to put 2 post mounts on and then secure those with through bolts. That's a T-nut, and that's just secures the nut. So you put one on each side. Boom, boom, boom. I love that little nylon hammer. If you don't have one of those are great for just. Oh, I want to take a minute here. That is a lock washer, and there is a difference between a lock washer and a flat washer. You see that little split in there? That helps keep the nut from accidentally or over time working itself out. So easy peasy here. Bolt goes through um, into that T-nut that I've hammered into the wood, and then we just ratchet those down. I have some ratcheting wrenches, and I really love those. You can use a regular ratchet wrench here, but a few years ago I bought these ratcheting wrenches, and I just use them all the time now for things like this. So get that in there. Get the one on the other side, and then there'll be 4 screws that go through the faceplate, and that'll complete that section. Then we put the decorative frame around the bottom. It's like a picture frame sort of a thing. So, if I may pause here, they they're using square drivers here. I really wish they would have used star drivers. I much prefer star drivers, but these will work. I suppose they were perhaps a lower cost. So get your impact driver out or your power screwdriver and just nothing could be easier. I love these impact drivers. It makes quick work out of screws. So 4 screws, and then we'll put the little wooden frame around. So the little wooden frame, that's just 4 pieces of pre-cut lumber. They're marked, and they're different lengths, so you really can't get those. Well, I guess you could put them upside down. The rounded edge goes to the top. There's just quickly looking at the instructions there. To speed through this, four screws in each of those, and some of these, well, they've been pretty rough cut, so I had to recut some of these to get them to fit, and even then, I had to remind myself I'm not building furniture. Uh, there's going to be some gaps, but I suppose some caulking would fill that up. You can see right there, see that doesn't fit in there. It's just a little bit too short. I have a miter saw, so I just went over and I cut a about a 1/16 of an eighth of an inch off of it, and that made it drop down into that slot. And if you can't cut it, it's going to be okay. It's just a decorative piece, a little caulking. Nobody's ever going to know. Also, there are a couple little pieces where rough handling had broken out. I put some wood glue in there, put a clamp on it, and that should take care of that. So anyway, oh, and as you can see, some of these, they didn't cut them very well, really. They're not really square. Again, it's not furniture. It's just a outdoor gazebo. So I think you're going to find these kind of defects in most outdoor gazebos, really, if you look close. Nobody looks close, right? So anyway, that's what it looks like. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See how all this comes out.